I first started working with Luckett Farley back in about 1997 when we were trying to come up with a new way to do housing on campus. We needed to expand our beds by a couple of thousand and didn't know quite how to do that within the budget constraints and land constraints that we had. Luckett Farley was the selected architect on that project. That project actually produced 3 different residence hall facilities for us for about 1,200 beds. So between 2000 and 2006, we built new beds, we designed different features, and we worked on 3 totally different type of buildings. The first building was an apartment complex. It was our first. We didn't have any on campus for individual students who could have private bedrooms, private baths. We also were trying to do a project with UPS. They had asked the state and the city to come up with a way to recruit 24-hour workers and students for them. So we started the Metropolitan College, and Betty Johnson Hall was designed as an apartment complex that offered it all for the night worker, day student. That building in itself was a large building of about 500 beds. It had to include amenities such as a swimming pool and sand volleyball and the indoor workout area, the kitchens, so that a student could come in at 4 a.m., do what they wanted to do to relax, to start winding down before they went to bed, and not disturb other students in the building. So that was the first building we built. After building that one, we decided we really didn't need to go to the full-scale of apartments, so we looked at a suite-style environment where we had students living more in double rooms and sharing baths. Luckett Farley helped us with that design as well and came up with it. Then the third building we built at that time was to be a mixed-use building in the sense that it provided Greek suites on the first floor, social suites where Greek organizations on campus could lease and use as a social event but not sleep in, and then sleeping rooms on the upper floors. So those are the 3 buildings that we built together. Now during that time, we had different project managers, different architects, chief architects working on them. Steve Cherry was one of those. He, along with the others on the team at Luckett Farley, just worked very closely with us on what we needed. They heard our designs. They would go back and redesign if we looked at something and thought of something different. And in higher education, we're known for changing our mind. So they had to work on those designs and help us build those buildings. They convinced us and was able to show us that building stick-build type buildings was okay for residence halls. That was another first for us. But because of the way they built it, the way they designed it, what they did with the construction teams, we were convinced it was okay. And so we went that route for all 3 of those buildings. They also would listen to us between the buildings as we wanted to change design and came up with something that worked. The other thing we were in contend with is we were neighbors to one of the oldest Victorian neighborhoods in the country. And we had to design buildings that would fit into that neighborhood and transition well. Luckett Farley was able to do that. They did their local research, they did their national research, and came up with something that looked like student housing, but also honored our neighbors on the border. I like Luckett Farley. I work with them over the years. I help them when I can, but they help me as well. I can still call them, even though we don't have projects, and get ideas or get resources, and they can do the same with us. I hope that you consider strongly that they're a great partner in student housing.